1,068.5 pardons, but my attention is presently 99.81% occupied, coordinating provisions and supplies for the displaced. Well, if the archivist said so, I suppose I can factor out a moment. As the assigned provisioner, I am responsible for coordinating the requisition and distribution of comestibles, medicinals, and miscellaneous vital supplies. The overwhelming majority of my time is dedicated to this, leaving only moments to see to the Order's needs in the settlement. But it is an effort I undertake with great relish. You may not have noticed, but the refugees do not want for food or medicine. The Order of the Ascendant is dedicated to the ascension of humanity. Our ultimate goal may not be reached in our lifetime. If I can help others in need today, I shall do so to the utmost extent of my abilities and resources. With the great disruption that has occurred to their lives, one could hardly blame them. That they are fed and remain healthy is sufficient for me. Appreciate you respecting my time.
By the law. It's you. Oh, thank the architect you're finally here. I've scarcely breathed while hoping you'd come. I am in desperate need of your help. True, but the Order's predictions know you better than you know yourself. As a doctor, I'm appalled. We don't have enough beds or private quarters to separate people, so sickness is blazing an unhappy trail through the refugees. Of course, the Order keeps us well supplied with meds, but things will get worse as long as we're overcrowded. Yes, I can treat sickness as it arises. It would be leagues better to prevent it entirely. That means space to spread out. Since you asked, you can run this medicine to Horst Lambing. Just don't shake the man's hand. He has a habit of coughing into his palm when he covers it at all. You see, the Seers are members of the Order who labor over the universal equation. Even in its unfinished state, the equation gives them the means to predict the future. Recently, I had a rare opportunity to ask the Seer for guidance. He told me that a dashing outsider would answer my prayers. I feared the prediction was a fluke, but here you are, a dashing outsider standing before me. Strictly speaking, it isn't. Not yet. But the math is very, very, very good at predicting what is probably most likely extremely possible. In theory. Within a margin of error. Anyway, that is the Seer's business. My business is the health and welfare of this camp. Where to begin? There are so many sick and wounded in Matriarch's mercy, and I have but two imperfect hands. I am but a humble general practitioner. What I really need are specialists, and the Seer predicted an outsider would find them.
Might have time to patch up one or two patients before we head out. I used to be a combat medic. A good one, too.
You also strike me as someone on the go. I need committed medical employees, not a freelancer. The Seer gave me a datapad with explicit instructions that I not read it, for my intervention could only throw probability into disarray. Now, take the datapad, with my thanks. How can I be of service? Since you aren't a
right. The universe does not orient itself toward fairness. But it's my firm belief humanity can do better.
All evidence to the contrary.
Ah, I pleasantly anticipated this exact moment. My personalized order prediction and weekly prognostics report both mentioned encountering an unforeseen factor about now. I suppose that designation doesn't wholly apply to you, though, does it? Predicting future events is an imprecise science. Currently, that is. Well, then, I read that you'd have questions about our predictive methods, correct? Matriarch's mercy is brimming beyond capacity with those cast out by war. But we of the Order rise to every challenge and continually strive to better our guests' existence. Why, I, for instance, have availed my predictive methods to our refugee neighbors in the area. There's nothing more practical than improving lives now, is there? We've offered the displaced access to our weekly prognostics reports and personalized order predictions. Engagement is admittedly rather low, but at least one member of the camp reports he has benefited from them greatly. One of our recent guests, Rollo Nast, has received multiple personalized order predictions. I believe he could speak to the effectiveness of our ways firsthand. If my own humble assertions are not enough, I trust his attestations would convince you, and perhaps other members of the displaced as well. We utilize a mix of proprietary research methods to gather as complete a data set as possible, and advanced calculations using well-honed models to effectuate it. None of us predict events with complete accuracy or absolute detail. We'd need to solve the universal equation to do that. Fortunately, we're all working very hard on that problem. The Department of Predictive Analysis provide weekly prognostics reports and personalized order predictions to help steer our followers' paths. More what to watch out for, advisement on adhering to the plan, forecasts of probabilistic dangers, elements of larger predictions made relevant to groups and individuals. The Department of Predictive Analysis is mainly populated by seers like myself, who represent the Order's most talented mathematicians. After years of study, some can predict events a few seconds or minutes into the future with reasonable precision. Others can estimate with up to 71.1% accuracy several months out. Of course, predictions have grown more difficult with the loss of the archive, but I am not to speak of that with an outsider. No offense. Unforeseen factors, random elements, anomalous outliers, incalculable variables, all of them can undercut the accuracy of our predictions. But as we close in on solving the universal equation, unknown unknowns will become known unknowns. Then finally, known knowns. You follow? True, my situation does lack a certain refinement. Regrettably, this is Matriarch's mercy. We all must do the best we can with limited means. I foresee you have much to do. I won't keep you. Adieu.
Are you going to be a problem?
You must be the, Earth Directorate agent I was told to expect. Your punctuality is commendable. Allow me to welcome you to Golden Ridge. I'm afraid I've no refreshments available, but can I interest you in a customary debate over decidability? Sensible. Straight to business, then. The presiding bishop sent word of your imminent arrival. However, pursuant to our normal standards of compartmentalization, she was scant on the details of your mission. That said, I've been instructed to assist you however I can. So, tell me, what brings you to Golden Ridge? Victor? Yes, Archivist Clemens. Quite the mind. Such encyclopedic knowledge of engineering. One could almost mistake him for an exemplar. Is he in some kind of trouble?
Victor Clemens, some kind of radical. What an absurd notion.
I must agree with my seer. I once watched Victor shed copious tears over a damaged datapad. It's difficult to imagine him capable of worse. And that may well be true. But our standard of proof within the Order is not normally met by hearsay alone. Victor's currently supervising highly experimental research at one of our labs to the northwest, the N-Ray range, beyond the invaders' front lines. Unfortunately, you'll need to go through the decommissioned autonomous extractorium to reach it. That path is less than safe, so I advise caution. Besides the highly caustic Zeranium River and the Mantisaurs, we've also received reports of mad cultists in the area. It does make me wonder why Victor decided to stay. Victor is dedicated. Single-minded, one could say. I've always thought highly of his analytical skills as a researcher, less so his social ones, perhaps. Loath as I am to admit it, there may be some merit to your worries over a conspiracy within the Order, whether Victor is involved or not. As my predecessor would remind me, denying unpleasant facts is not good science. I would be remiss if I failed to support an investigation. No doubt you heard of the recent attack launched on that Anti's Choice base, Outpost Opportunity. It came from one of our facilities, the Zeranium Manufactory. But that facility is intended for research, not military action. I hate thinking an Order member responsible, but given the precision of the attack, it does suggest traitors in our midst. It would undoubtedly benefit both of us to root them out.
Respectfully, Scholar, given current tensions, should we really be trusting such a delicate task to this stranger? Would an internal review of our ranks not be more appropriate? Earth Directorate Agent is just a title. I'd seek to know who you are beyond that bit of headline.
I don't dispute the need for discretion, my friend, but the presiding bishop made the determination to send the agent to us. It's best we trust her calculations. Moreover, our situation is growing increasingly dire. I can't overstate my fears concerning this most recent attack ending the ceasefire and reigniting the war in Golden Ridge. One more thing. Your investigation into the traitors takes precedence, but if you could also render aid at Outpost Opportunity on our behalf, such a gesture might preserve the peace. I knew I could rely upon you. Ruth wouldn't have sent you otherwise. Here, take this writ of investigative inquiry. It'll grant you access to the manufactory. Seer Wiley and I will conduct our own inquest into these traitors you've mentioned erstwhile. We can compare notes once you've returned with your findings. Illuminating the path to true erudition is an abbot's moral duty. Whatever I can tell you, I will.
A calling for those with a greater than average talent for mathematics and computation, particularly in the field of predictive analysis.
Seer Wiley is being too modest about his contributions. Many in the Order rely on seers for their indispensable counsel. I myself would be lost without mine. Oh, indeed. I needn't educate you on what you can see with your very eyes. There is a great deal of pressure on me to navigate what is a rather novel situation. Without Wiley, I dare say our predicament here would be even more precarious. Many lives depend on him, on us both. Why, Matriarch's mercy would not be the refuge it is without his predictions shepherding its development. That is a statue of the matriarch, Alexandra Varick, Arcadia's founder and for whom the monastery was named after. Regrettably, Alexandra Monastery is closed to non-order members at the moment, given recent troubles. But perhaps Seer Wiley can give us an estimation of its reopening.
Oh, certainly. According to my calculations, the monastery will be accessible to certain members of the public shortly.
Haha, good news indeed. Oh, you really must visit. The observatory is a true sight to behold.
We need to help the folk at Opportunity, Commander. Void the Abbot. He's more concerned with exonerating his own than with making things right.
What happened to this place? Law. Matriarch's mercy is no safer than the trenches.
Look on the bright side.
I could use a break from fighting injustice.
Oh. Hello. You weren't mentioned in my latest personalized order projection. I mean, prediction. Granted, I mostly skim the parts what don't cover probabilistic dangers, so perhaps you were alluded to in some, roundabout fashion. Suppose that means you're not a threat. So that's good, right? Yeah, I reckon that's good. I'll say, I try not to make any big plans until I consult my latest POP. First time I got a POP, it was on a lark. It said, Rolo Nast, our seer has predicted you must wear a helmet today. I borrowed one. As a laugh, everybody ribbed me about it. Just after lunch, wind picked up on the cliff above and dropped a mock apple 152 meters straight down onto my head. Fortunately, I still had that brain case on. I mean, if you want an exact estimate or percentage, talk to them. As for me, I just got that, what do you call it? Anecdotal feedback. A few times, I couldn't make heads or tail of half of it. Like, avoid anything representing whole numbers. I didn't know what to do about that. So I just stayed put. End of the day, I'm still here, and my co-occupant Ike isn't. So, I guess them prognostications work well enough. You did catch the part I said they'd save my life, right? I think alive is a notable improvement on dead. That's something you can take to the bank, you know? Figuratively speaking. I don't know why the other displaced have been so slow to take to them. But I'm not complaining too loud. Waited for my latest POPs long enough already.
Oh, Administrant Agarwal. Here to finally hash this out, are you? Thought this day would never come.
Yes, well, our esteemed outsider here has agreed to thoroughly appraise our situation, in the hope that we may finally close the book on the exclusion zone once and for all.
They say you asked around. Listen to folks. That's a good start, at least. Well, we tried to work things out on our own. Look where that got us.
Mediator, I leave the fate of the exclusion zone in your capable hands.
I'm all ears, Mediator.
I understand he is rather short-handed.
Yeah. Someone should get right on that, huh? Anyhow, what was the good doctor's diagnosis? We have ample room to space people out more, but only if we utilize the exclusion zone.
That is indeed unfortunate, but the dangers predicted for the exclusion zone may outweigh these concerns. Collapsed, but we built Matriarch's Mercy to optimize comfort and safety.
I'm guessing you're saying this wasn't an official structure, more of a hastily assembled, precariously built shanty. People are struggling to make do with what they have. If we had the exclusion zone, this wouldn't be a problem.
I'm aghast these structures weren't built following established order construction guidelines. The what now?
When grievances between the displaced approach fisticuffs, we hire sub-Rosa hooligans to duke things out for us.
That is unquantifiably absurd, and I don't see how moving into the exclusion zone will help. The fault here is my own. I see now that the displaced require guidance steeped in logic and reason. Speak on, then.
You mean that missionary type who's always talking at everybody instead of to them?
Her mission is to uplift and enlighten.
She's indoctrinating, not helping us. Can't you see the difference?
Point taken.
Did he also happen to mention they were needlessly oblique and vague?
Quite right. Rollo's co-occupant might have also supported our warnings, had he heeded them.
I don't know. You ask me, when it comes to these order predictions, there's a lot of room between a probable and definite outcome. You actually got the Provisioner to give you the time of day. Huh.
Ah, yes. I sometimes forget Provisioner Plotnik is also assigned to minding the displaced's needs. Her role is largely proactive, while mine is reactive.
Fair enough. The Order does keep us refugees fed and plenty, medicated. To give credit, as I do with blame, where it's due.
By my calculations, you've explored this topic from every conceivable angle. Admirable work, Mediator. I suspect that your sympathies lie with the displaced. Unfortunate if true, but I leave the decision in your capable hands.